Robert Blakely, are you here?
Yes.
Raise your hand, thank you so much. We have Mr. Tim Hughes, raise your hand, there he is. And we have Mr. Ernest Doc, in quotation, block.
All right.
All right, so here we go. Here's the ground rules, ladies and gentlemen on the panel. Just a reminder, all candidates before each interview, this is an interview, it's not a debate. Everybody say debate.
Debate.
It's not a debate, it's an interview. You get 30-second questions, and if you want them to be split, the candidates will get 30 seconds. Or not, if you direct the candidate, they will get 1 minute to answer the question you give them. Are we clear? Say clear.
Clear.
Good job.
Crystal.
So crystal clear. Look at that, we had somebody. Would you like to start first?
I want to ask a question.
You want to ask a question?
Is it possible if we just ask a question without directing it, it's assumed everyone has to answer it?
Well, remember, you only get 1 minute, and we are on a time frame, so it's how you guys want to do this. I'm going to give 1 minute for your question to be answered. So if you want to split it between candidates, use a yes or no. Use your question into a yes or no if you want to find the answer. Does that make sense?
Okay, yes.
All right, thank you so much. Because I respect these guys' times, I respect your guys' time, and I love my time. By the way, my name is Kevin Child. I am one of the school board trustees of the Clark County School District, and I appreciate all candidates being here. Let's give a round of applause to these gentlemen. And let's give a round of applause for our panelists. Yes, and you can clap for yourself. All right, so we know the game rules. Let's see, let's start with Mr. Doctor there.
Dr. Fred Conquest from CSN and also Executive Director of the Citizens for Better America. It's a question for everybody. The State Board of Education essentially is the proxy for the governor in terms of education in Nevada. We tend to be last or at the bottom of education. For each one of you, if you are lucky enough to win the seat, how are you going to improve education? What is your plan?
You have 20 seconds each to answer that. Remember, as straight as you want. You're only going to get 20, but you can do a yes or no question, correct? Good job. Thank you, doctor. So you get 20 seconds, and I will tell you time when you're done and finish up your sentence. Thank you for your thought.
Which one of us?
What do you want to start first,
Let's
doctor?
go, Mr. Hughes.
Great, thank you. So first of all, thanks for this interview, I appreciate it. So I'm a former teacher, former principal, and currently work to train teachers locally and recruit teachers locally. I'm partnering with CCSD schools, and so I understand this issue pretty intimately. I think there's lots of things, more than I can answer in 20 seconds. I think we need to continue to increase the supports we have for our teachers and our principals. We need to make sure that our funding is done in an equitable sort of way. We need to make sure that students that have more challenges are given additional supports. So those are three. There's many more, but hopefully we'll elaborate on this later.
Thank you.
All right, I guess I'm going next. The first function that we have is actually as oversight, and so ours is really to set policy and to look at ways in which we can look at the standards of the education, and then look at how it's being being implemented in the different districts. So ours is an overview.
If we have any chance of survival as a county, as parents, or as our students, as a state, or as a country, we have to do three things. Stop Common Core, stop SBAC testing, and rein in the multiple layers of unaccountable bureaucrats in education. You mentioned Board of Education.
Here, Mr. Llewellyn.
Hi, Patrick Llewellyn, Veterans in Politics. If I could please, I would like for Ernest to continue on the previous questions asked by this gentleman.
Okay, so you'll go. You want to leave? You want him to have the minute?
Yes, I would like to hear more on that.
You got a minute to ask for any one of these, and then
Very good.
Yes.
So
That's
you
what I
want the
wish.
full minute on Mr. Louk?
Okay.
Dr. Louk?
Yeah, the State Board of Education is made up of 11 members. only 4 of which are elected by the public. One's appointed by the governor, one's appointed by the Senate, one's appointed by the Assembly, and several are appointed from the Teachers Union, the Administrators Union, the Association of State Superintendents. They have way too much influence upon our children's education. So we need all 4 of these elected positions that represent the students, represent the parents, and represent the taxpayers to have their constitutionally given positions rather than additional representation for the teachers, the principals, and the superintendents.
Okay, next question. Thank you. Broadway.
Would you guys be for or against teachers carrying firearms on campus?
That'd be a yes or no.
I'll start this one. I was on the board of Regents before this for 6 years at the university system, and I actually voted for campus carry. Both of the times it came before the board of Regents, it was defeated, but I personally voted for it. Additionally, the lady that was kind of the spokesman for a number of years, who had an incident up at
Time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Hughes?
So my overall philosophy is students need to have a school that is safe for them, and every student deserves a safe and secure school. I don't think teachers are in a position to have to worry about carrying a firearm. They have a lot of things on their plate already: lesson planning, how to meet the needs of each individual student, how to think about a curriculum from start to finish.
Time.
Thinking about safety and then carrying a weapon on top of that is not something that they have time to do or should be doing.
There have been no school shootings in Israel since 1972 when the teachers were required to be armed. In the Clark County School District, faculty and staff can be armed with the written permission of their site supervisor.
Time.
Most people don't know that. That would be the principal of the school.
Gentlemen, my name is Tim Pitar. This is a simple yes or no question, and I really do mean yes or no. It's that simple. Okay, so here's my question. Do you believe political correctness is a problem in the school system, yes or no? Mr.
Yes.
Yes, state it one more time.
Do you believe political correctness is a problem in the school system, yes or no?
Yes.
I think it depends on your definition, but I
It's a
would
yes
say
or-
overall.
It's a yes or
yes.
no, sir, sorry.
I'm sorry, that was a yes for
Yeah.
clarification? Thank you.
What is, this question is directed to everyone, each of you gentlemen, thank you for being here today, by the way. What is your strategy for reducing class size? If you have a strategy at this point.
I'll start with me, I guess. To begin with, that's somewhat out of the Board of Education's purview. That's more in the district's purview. But the best part that we could have part of that is to get adequate funding so that you could have smaller classes because you have
Time.
more teachers.
Adequate funding for teachers?
Yeah, and more teachers.
No follow-up until we get
Okay.
that. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Mr. Louk?
Yeah, absolutely. Where does that adequate funding come from? We have to take it from the central bureaucrats that are contributing nothing to the education of our children. Then we will have adequate funding without raising property taxes, without raising the bed tax. So get rid of the central bureaucrats, put it into the classroom.
Time.
My name is Robert Faust.
Hold on,
Mr.
hold on.
Hughes was
Hold on,
next.
Mr. Faust, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
The challenge is before we get to class size reduction, we have to actually address the teacher shortage crisis. I talked to principals across the state and across the district, and they don't have enough teachers to fill their current class sizes. So to think that we can reduce them when we don't have the high quality teachers to put in those classrooms is sort of getting ahead of ourselves. So we need to focus first on the teacher shortage, and then we can talk about reduction.
My name is Robert Faust. I would have a question for all three of you, and I'll start with Mr. Hughes. Where are we at on transgender on the restrooms in schools today?
Hold on, is that a question for all of them?
Yes, it was.
Yes, sir.
Mr.
Thank you.
Hughes
You want to
first.
start first? And what do you want second?
In order, please.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so I stated previously, so one of my beliefs is every student, regardless of their identity, should feel safe and secure going to school. And so I would be open to looking at different policies. I have not seen any specific proposals that address that here locally yet, but I would be open to hearing from the community and getting their thoughts on that. But I do want every student to feel safe in the school that they go to.
Well, I think you should be going to the bathroom that is compared to your birth certificate. So I kind of think that's where you should probably handle that. I am sympathetic to the concept of the transgender people. And fortunately, well, actually, I'm done.
Yeah, that's not a choice that I should be making as an elected official. The governor should be making. Secretary King of the U.S. Department of Education should not be making that choice. President Obama or President Trump or whoever should not be making that decision. Who should be making the decision about our schools? How about the teachers and the parents at every individual school? Not a county-wide policy, not a statewide policy, certainly not a federal policy. Keep it at the local level. Thank you.
All right, let's move on to the next question. Firstly, the governor and the state legislature pass a margins tax, or actually it's a gross revenue tax on all businesses. And supposedly that money goes to fund education, although they refuse to earmark it. I'm going to ask each panelist to comment on that particular tax and your thoughts around either making the current educational system more efficient and fitting in the current budget, or to raise that particular tax again, which has been the conversation behind the scenes this year in terms of raising the gates on that tax. So let's start over here with Dr. Louk, please, and let's move on.
20 seconds each, please. Thank you.
The easiest way to fund education is to increase class size. That's the quickest and most dangerous way to increase funding. The second easiest way to increase funding for education is raise taxes. Let's do it the hard way, and let's do it the correct way. Get rid of the central bureaucrats, return all power, decision-making power, including budgeting, to the teachers and parents at each individual school. Thank you.
Thank you.
In terms of this tax, I think we need to keep it where it is today. I don't think we should increase it in any way. We've already got mechanisms in place that we're spending that money, so really we'd have a problem if we did away with it. So that's really where we need to kind of just start making steps.
My general sense when I think about taxes and school funding is that education is the single most important thing we could invest in for the future of our state, and everybody has a vested interest in that, and so I do think that everybody should play a role in helping to fund that. We currently do have one of the lowest per pupil in the country, as compared to lots of other states that our kids are competing with, and so funding is a huge issue facing our schools right now.
My name is Rowena Griffithson. I'm the founder of Shine Family Foundation. This question goes to all of you. Relative to other subjects students are required to take, how important is science in your opinion?
And who would you like to start first, please?
Ernest. Okay.
Well, as a scientist, physician, podiatrist, it's very important. Not every student in our schools is going to college. Probably less than 10%. That's the number that should be going to college. But every student, including the 90%, need to be able to know the difference between junk science and real science to make decisions about GMO, make decisions about global warming, make decisions about transgender.
Thank you. 20 seconds, please.
Well, I have two Bachelor of Science degrees, one in both in engineering. So obviously, I think it's of the utmost importance, and I would be very concerned with the standards in which we have for science in the schools, and that being part of the curriculum.
Time. Thank you. 20 seconds, please.
Yes, I agree. I also have a science background, was a pre-med student at the University of Nevada, Reno, and decided ultimately to serve my country by getting into education. A lot of the jobs of the future will require a very technical and scientific background, and so that's hugely important to set our kids up for success to make sure we have a strong and rigorous science curriculum.
Okay, time. All right, candidates, we're going to let you have 1 minute why you want to be in your elected position. So, who would like to go first? Tell me, raise your hand.
I guess I'll go
Okay,
first.
Dr. Louk, you'll go first. Thank you so much.
I learned in the Marine Corps, never volunteered. I'm apolitical. I follow the politics. I very seldom ever vote. I could care less about party politics and all these people that claim to be campaign specialists and all that. It's a game for them, but we're not playing the game here. We're looking for the survival of our country, the survival of our county, the survival of our children. And that starts with our education, our K through 12 education. And the only way we are going to survive is if the parents and the students and the teachers take back our schools. Rip it out of the hands of these bureaucrats. Rip it out of the hands of these politicians that say one thing, go to Carson City and do something exactly opposite. They're not answering to us. If we break it down where all decisions are made at the individual school level, a statewide or a federal-wide politician can't come in and take that power away. If Planned Parenthood wants to teach our children, they'll have to go make their case at
Time.
every single school.
Finish up your thought, please.
Thank you for your time. I want to say one thing about Kevin Childs. Everyone talks about him as a laughing joke. He's run for every office and he happened to got elected to the school board. Guess what? I'm driving along Desert Inn at 6:30 in the morning. He's out there on the sidewalk
Sir,
walking up and down the
sir,
street
that's
with
all
the
right.
president,
Appreciate
with the
that.
principal. This guy is at the schools
Sir.
every day, all day
Doctor,
long. He's doing his
doctor.
job. Give him a hand. Give Kevin a hand.
Not about you today. I appreciate that. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, my passion for a long period of time now has been the education system in Nevada. I spent 6 years on the Board of Regents. Did everything I could in that time to improve that system. One of the areas that became apparent to me that was an even bigger problem was the K through 12 system here in Nevada. And that's why I'm committed to doing this position and trying to improve this area.
You okay?
Yeah.
All right, anything else?
No, I think
You still got some minutes left. I mean, you still got some seconds left.
Oh, well, I spent 30 years of my career here in Las Vegas, 20 of it in the construction field, working on projects at the Nevada test site, in Tonopah, the air base up there, on Yucca Mountain. I've done a lot of things with military organizations. So I've been almost like a civilian military individual in my life.
So I am a third-generation Nevadan, native to Las Vegas, grew up in a working-class family, and is the first in my family to go to college. And so I personally saw firsthand what an education can do and the doors that can open up. And unfortunately, our state is lagging behind, as you all know. We're one of the last in the nation. And so we need to do better by our kids. Our kids and our families deserve better. The State Board of Education, they do implement a lot of the policies that the legislature decides on, but they also are involved in a lot of nuance and complexity around specific policies and some of the technical aspects. So it's really important to bring somebody who has experience in knowing different levels of the system. I've worked with school districts, I've worked with teachers, with principals, different levels of the system, so I understand those vantage points. So we really need to have that sort of experience and expertise to be able to make sure that our policies can serve our kids well. I would agree also that it can't just only be the board. We need to all come together. This is everybody's vested interest. And we need to make sure that we do hear from the voices of our community and our families so we can make this a much better experience for our kids. Thank you all very much.
All right, give them a round of applause. And so this was for State Board Education District 1. We have Robert Blakely, raise your hand. There you go. We have Tim Hughes, raise your hand. And we have Ernest Doc Louk, right? There you go. So anyways, you know what I'm gonna do? I can answer, give me one question from the panelists, and who would like to go first? We'll do one more. Guess not. Oh, here we go. Doctor, go ahead. You get,
How long?
go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, for everybody, the state Board of Education spends a lot of money that is more or less allocated through the legislature. Would you be opposed or to a forensic audit of the state Board of Education or not? Just yes or no.
That'd be 20 seconds.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that either. Yeah, be a student.
Yeah, I think we need to use our resources efficiently, and so it's important to have a third-party evaluator.
All right. Now, I see some audience out there. Does everyone one question out there? Does everybody have a question out there for our candidates? I guess not.
I'll ask a question.
Here we go. We got it. State your name.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here today. My name is Karen Steelman. I am the Auxiliary Director for Veterans in Politics, and I'm going to ask you the same question I asked the last panel. And again, it's because often in these interviews we hear opposing views on certain issues, but we have one Constitution and one set of laws. So I'd like to hear each of your position on the Constitution, how it applies to us and how it applies to the duties of the office you're applying for.
Would you like to go first and then get 20 seconds to answer?
Let's go first with Dr. Louk.
On my 17th birthday, I took an oath. That oath did not expire.
Thank you.
I believe in the Constitution of the United States of America, and defend it with my life. I had to.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of issues that come up in schools and school systems around the Constitution and around civil rights, and so I certainly believe we should follow the letter of the law and make sure that we are thinking about how our legal system can support our education system.
Okay, now give a round of applause for Mr. Blakely, Mr. Hughes, and Dr. Louk. And this interview is for State Board Education District 1. Thank you, gentlemen.